Part 170. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1691. The most terrifying thing is that the first generation of true gods had almost no consciousness, and many true gods later did not have a strong consciousness either. The node where they continuously released source energy, which can also be called a singularity, was often discovered and taken into the arms of the first generation of false gods. They thought it was the so-called innate spiritual treasure, infinite gems, supreme holy objects, first come first served. They thought it was their chance and controlled it in their hands. If the false gods could be satisfied with obtaining an innate spiritual treasure and their own survival would be worry-free, then they could actually be safe and sound. However, the false gods were by no means content with the status quo. They also wanted to obtain the innate spiritual treasures of other false gods, which naturally led to wars, destruction between gods. These behaviors were contrary to the characteristics of innate spiritual treasures. Although the spiritual treasures had almost no consciousness, they would reject the false gods over time. They would voluntarily break away from the control of the false gods. In fact, except for the true gods to whom the innate spiritual treasures belonged, no existence could completely control an innate spiritual treasure. After the selfish and greedy masters were abandoned by the spiritual treasures one by one, there was the saying that only those with virtue can own the treasures. It sounds like a story from the ancient Chinese legend, but Teishu and Hong Huang are not the same thing. These familiar names and titles are just for the convenience of understanding. As for what the false gods of that era looked like and what the wars between them were like, it is simply beyond the imagination of modern people. As the true gods released energy, the energy intertwined and entangled to form the world. Another kind of existence was born in the chaos, the true spirit. The difference between them and the true gods is that the true spirit cannot exist forever and must be attached to certain substances and energy in the universe. Speaking of which, the false gods should also be regarded as a kind of true spirit. The reason why it is called true spirit means the real soul. The true spirit can be attached to anything, from galaxies, planets, mountains, and seas to molecules, atoms, quarks, and neutrinos. There is almost no carrier that the true spirit cannot attach to. If the carrier is destroyed, as long as the true spirit has not died, he will attach to the next carrier in the universe intentionally or unintentionally. In fact, it is somewhat similar to the reincarnation of the soul. The kind of soul managed by the underworld is actually something created by the false gods. It is more like an artificial intelligence program. Therefore, whether it is a Magic Planet game or a martial arts planet game, many intelligent programs are recognized as souls by the underworld. And human beings' concerns about artificial intelligence are basically meaningless. Intelligent programs and souls are basically the same thing. It is almost inevitable that they will awaken their intelligence after being attached by a true spirit. Even if humans do not create artificial intelligence, what will happen? Everything around us may have intelligence, from tables, chairs, benches, pots and pans to the entire earth. It may have consciousness. That is not something that mere humans can guard against. However, a piece of stone attached by a true spirit has no five senses and cannot perceive the outside world. It has no neuromuscular system and does not have the ability to act independently. Unless the true spirit itself has very strong energy and forcibly moves the stone. Otherwise, he will have to be a stone for the rest of his life. This is not unacceptable to the true spirit whose consciousness is not very clear. Of course, the true spirit's favorite carrier is still the soul in the body of the organism. Especially the soul of a highly intelligent creature is particularly easy to provoke the attachment of the true spirit. True spirits travel in the world. If they can comprehend the realm of true gods and truly give as much as possible and ask for as little as possible, they will have the opportunity to step into the ranks of true gods. Zhang Xiaoming and Xiaozhu are both such true spirits. They already have their own source energy seeds. they are on the road to becoming true gods. Of course, they are still far from the realm of true gods, especially Xiaoming, who is even further away. Xiaozhu used academic qualifications as an example. In the School of Source Energy, Xiaozhu is considered a junior high school student and has achieved some success. Xiaoming, on the other hand, has not even graduated from elementary school. Recently, he has taken the wrong path and is in danger of not being able to graduate from elementary school. If you want to become a true god, the most important thing is to firmly believe in the concept of giving. Give sincerely without asking for anything in return, and don't ask for endlessly. Of course, since you haven't become a true god yet, you will die if you don't eat, drink, or breathe. That's definitely not possible. However, in addition to maintaining basic survival needs, it is best not to absorb too much external energy and try to maintain your existence with your own source energy. Xiaozhu pointed out that Xiaoming had taken the wrong path because he was too greedy and accepted a lot of energy from the reincarnation space and the underworld, which he used to improve his strength. Although Xiaoming's combat power is now extremely strong, it runs counter to the concept of the true god. Note that only the original silver source energy seed is truly exclusive to Xiaoming. Later, with the help of the source energy of the reincarnation space, the silver source energy seed of a few millimeters grew into a source energy tree several meters high. But in fact, only the core of the few millimeters is still Xiaoming's own, and the rest are foreign products. Not to mention the other green, yellow, red, and orange source energy trees. This practice has already deviated to the path of the false god. Of course, this is also very common. Many true spirits are attracted to the false gods. They will use various methods, such as cultivating immortals, cultivating martial arts, cultivating truth, practicing magic, and cultivating the small universe. All of them allow themselves to control and possess huge energy. A body that can carry so much energy naturally has a very long life. These true spirits think that this is the true path to becoming a god, and only in this way can they achieve immortality. In fact, before this, Xiaoming had always thought so. Little did they know that this path could only temporarily prolong their lifespan, but would instead lead them further and further away from the path of immortality. Of course, if one reaches a very high level, this temporarily extended lifespan would also be calculated in billions and billions of years. So when some people embark on the path of false gods, they know that this path is wrong. But they think that the time is long and acceptable. But he forgot that greed is infinite, whether human or not. When he really has billions of years of life, he still feels that it is not enough. For a being who has the talent and perseverance to reach such a high level in order to survive, it is almost impossible for him to stop there. Stop asking for things and enjoy retirement with peace of mind. That's impossible, he is not Thanos. This is somewhat similar to the capitalists among humans. They already have so much money. Not to mention this life, even the descendants of thousands of generations in the future will have enough money to live a life of luxury. But the capitalists will never stop there. In order to earn more money, they can even disregard all human laws and the conscience of heaven and earth. This is the terrible thing about greed. Because this desire is of a lower level, there will be a few individuals among the capitalists who will find their conscience, overcome greed, and turn back. But if the false gods are n times higher than the capitalists, there is almost no possibility of turning back. Fortunately, Xiaoming still has time. He is not too wrong. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1692. Xiaoming doesn't really take life and death seriously. Although everyone is afraid of death, there are not many people who pursue immortality. Everyone tries to live as long as possible, and when the day comes, that's it. No one thinks they should be immortal. Xiaoming gets various energy sources and improves his own strength, more for fun. In his opinion, reincarnation space, magic planet, martial arts planet, these are all very interesting games. It is more important to have fun. And the premise of having fun is to have strong strength. Without strong strength, Xiao Ming can't open the hidden tasks related to Saint Seiya in the game recently. Fortunately, his mentality is okay. Otherwise, with the sudden increase in strength, Xiao Ming will easily embark on the path of pursuing becoming a pseudo-god. That would be really troublesome. On the road of energy, Xiao Ming has just sprouted the seeds of energy and is still a primary school student who has not graduated. It is also the easiest time to go the wrong way and do the wrong thing. Once he goes too far on the wrong path, his source energy seeds will also disappear. In fact, there are countless elementary school students on this road. Because of the great temptation from the outside world, they failed to keep their original intentions and their source energy seeds dissipated. The graduation rate of source energy primary schools can be said to be extremely low. Take Xiao Ming for example. We know that the source energy he had at the beginning was not much at all. It was good enough to play a role once every few days, and the power would not be too great. It was because of his contact with the Magic Planet game that he could do a lot of things with a small amount of source energy. With more training, his source energy increased. It didn't matter at this point, because the Magic Planet game would not feed back to Xiao Ming's source energy. The Nine-Tailed Fox and others were lacking energy. Until he entered the reincarnation space and established a relationship with the Thousand Stars Tower, the two sides exchanged source energy seeds. Only then did he start his extraordinary path. Since then, Xiao Ming's growth has almost come from receiving a large number of rewards from the reincarnation space, which made his source energy stronger and stronger. By chance, it became more and more. Every time Xiao Ming gets a reward from the reincarnation space, his greed grows. He wants to get more rewards and improve his strength. From here on, his path has gone astray. This is the case with the primary school student true spirit. It is not stable enough, and it is normal to be led astray by desire. The source energy at the primary school level is not enough to maintain its own consumption. The true spirit with the source energy seed still has to ask for energy from the outside world. This kind of demand will naturally affect the concept of the true spirit. If you are not careful, you will degenerate and completely lose the source energy seed. As long as you pass this level, you can enter junior high school and reach the level of Xiaozu. At this time, the source energy seed of the true spirit is basically stable and can maintain its own consumption. No need to eat. In fact, the source energy junior high school students are also quite pitiful. They have given up the demand for the outside world, but the energy they generate is very little, which causes him to minimize activities and reduce consumption. However, many times, junior high school students still cannot avoid death. Being able to maintain their own consumption does not mean that they will not die of old age. I will have to continue to live like this in the next life. This stage is also an extremely long process. Although it is much shorter than the primary school stage, it is more difficult to endure. Primary school students can eat, drink water and breathe air. The concept of not asking for anything is not so firm, and they can still enjoy life. But the true souls of junior high school students no longer ask for anything from the outside world. They can't enjoy any life and will endure it very hard. Only those with great perseverance can persist. After surviving junior high school, you will naturally go to high school. High school students have much more source energy and can really take the initiative to do something. Xiaozu suspects that the heaven, the underworld, and the dragon palace are actually projects done by the true souls of high school students. The intentions of the projects are all very good. Needless to say, the heaven and the underworld, the reincarnation space managed by the dragon palace also has a great regulatory effect on the world. Because what the reincarnation space does is actually to put shackles on power. Before there was a reincarnation space, People with power were often those who took the path of false gods. Their desires caused them to cause considerable damage to the world. Powerful pseudo-gods can even eat planes one by one as snacks. Therefore, the reincarnation space gathers all supernatural energy into its own system. If a person wants to gain power, the fastest way is to become a reincarnator and earn rewards from the reincarnation space. But the rewards given by the space are sugar-coated bullets. It is true that the reincarnator has gained power, but he is also deeply bound by the reincarnation space. His strength, personality, combat quality, and various habits, big and small, are all clearly understood by the reincarnation space. If it is found that this reincarnation is not right, the reincarnation space can completely pit him to death in the reincarnation world. Or send the civil servants of the reincarnation space, the dragon warriors, to deal with him. Of course, the real task of the dragon warriors is to recycle the energy released by the reincarnation space. It is mainly to recycle those private worlds that have been exchanged by the reincarnations and then no one manages. A perfect circulation system with release and recovery has been formed. Through the replacement of generations of reincarnations, the operation mode of the world is regulated. Just like Pangustar, the top powerhouses here are basically reincarnations, and they are all the kind of powerhouses whose values are not too distorted and can be recognized by the reincarnation space. These strong men are the highest fighting force of Pangustar. They will subtly influence their families and friends, and indirectly constrain the social atmosphere of Pangustar world. Xiaoming is a VIP, and the reincarnation space does not assign him tasks, so he does not feel the regulatory effect of the reincarnation space. Imagine that the reincarnator is wandering in countless reincarnation worlds. When he does tasks that tend to be just, he often wins and gets rewards. If he does tasks in the direction of evil, the probability of failure will be very high, resulting in all the investment being wasted. Such things happen over and over again. Do you think it will have a subtle influence on his style of doing things? Most people will. However, this kind of restraint is limited. Pangustar is not a paradise on earth, and all kinds of sins still exist widely. It's just that compared with the earth, the social order of Pangustar is much better. As for the works of high school students, it's good to be able to do this. What else do you want? Of course, the 3 high school students who created the heaven, the underworld, and the dragon palace are probably true spirits from intelligent creatures. Only then will they work hard in this aspect. If it is the kind of high school student true spirit whose origin is stone, sand, magma, sea, meteorite, shooting star, etc., their project is likely to be something else. It has basically nothing to do with Xiaoming, and Xiaoming may not understand their project at all. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1693. On the road to the true God, after high school students, there are college students. As for whether there are masters, doctors, professors, etc., it is unknown. This is a level that even junior high school students cannot access. Xiaoming believes that he is not selfish and often uses energy to help others. Many people have received favors from me, and I have no desire to repay them. Such behavior should be considered good. However, Little Spider broke his fantasy. This kind of help can indeed be regarded as dedication, but it is too narrow-minded. Not the best thing to do. Because the scope of Xiaoming's help is basically human beings, and there are differences between close and distant people. The closer the relationship is with the person, the more Xiaoming will help. Even if some of the recipients are not humans, they are all highly intelligent beings. Such as Zerg, monsters, etc. As the descendants of Xiaoming, the insect humans have received great care. But taking care of the descendants is nothing more than dedication, right? This kind of behavior, from the perspective of the true God, is not a very praiseworthy act of kindness. It's just the behavior of primary school students. Because to the true God, highly intelligent beings such as humans, bugs, monsters, etc. are no different from flowers, plants, trees, sun, moon, and stars. There is no distinction between high and low. Xiao Ming's approach is still a behavior of limiting his vision only to his own small circle. It's not really fair and just. Don't talk about big love and small love, it's all love. The smaller the scope of love, the closer it is to selfishness. Choosing to harm the interests of more people for the sake of small love is even a crime. Human beings sing about love, family, and friendship. But if these three emotions go too far, they can turn into evil behaviors. This type of crime is not uncommon. There is a limit to everything. Heaven's approach is much better. The three races of humans, gods, and insects are all highly intelligent beings, but when they consumed the resources of the universe unscrupulously, the heavens mercilessly exterminated these three races. This is more fair. However, Xiao Zhu also pointed out that Xiao Ming's behavior of releasing a small amount of source energy into the surrounding environment all the time is his true dedication. There is no pursuit of reward. It is precisely because of this that Xiaozhu is willing to take action to intercept Hu and intercept Xiao Ming from the road of reincarnation. Otherwise, she usually wouldn't do such a thing. Even though Xiao Ming was kind to Xiaozhu for saving his life. But for Xiao Ming's own good, she never told Xiao Ming about these things about the true God. At first, she hoped to use the illusion she created to keep Xiao Ming. It would be best if Xiao Ming could graduate from elementary school in the fantasy world. Unfortunately, things went against expectations, and Xiao Ming discovered the problem with the illusion, forcing Xiao Zhu to uncover the truth. Now everything depends on Xiao Ming's own decision. There are two paths before him: one, refuse Xiaozu's kindness and return to the plan set by himself and my lord Acha. He was reincarnated and given S-level strength by Acha. And return to Pangu Star to take over his own power again. Dominate the world again. And his sister Xiao Jing'er will come back to him. But the dangers of doing so are obvious. To put it more seriously, it means knowing the law and breaking the law. Xiao Ming's strength comes from his own source energy seeds. However, it is very difficult for a true spirit to awaken source energy seeds. This cannot be described by a good person in 10 generations or a good person in 100 generations. He needs to maintain the kindness of giving and dedication in every life in the endless reincarnations. It takes at least hundreds of millions of years to awaken the source energy seeds. If in one of his lifetimes, he failed to withstand temptation and fell, dozens of good deeds in hundreds of lifetimes will be ruined in one go. For example, if Xiao Ming chooses to know the law and break the law this time, knowing that it is wrong but still reluctant to let go of those temptations, then his path to the true God will probably end here. In fact, the average primary school student's true soul has to go through countless reincarnations before becoming a primary school student. Just like ordinary people, with different circumstances, they constantly oscillate between good and evil. Only then can they confirm their beliefs and stick to the path of becoming a true God. That should probably be considered kindergarten time. If you do not have a firm belief, you will consume the lifespan of your pure true soul in endless reincarnations and die. This is the fate of most true spirits. It is very rare for primary school students to embark on the path of true God. If there is no intervention, Xiao Ming will probably regress from the 3rd grade of elementary school to the 1st grade of elementary school, or even kindergarten. If you are even more unlucky, you might end up on the path of a false god. Gods are rare, so it's no wonder that little spider would interfere like this. She hoped that Xiao Ming would choose the 2nd path. Give up all temptation, give up these memories. Avoid the interference of Oka. Experience reincarnation again with the mentality of an ordinary person. I hope that I can continue to maintain the standard of Xiaoming as a primary school student and continue to follow the path of true God. Xiaozu said that she was very optimistic about Xiaoming. Because Xiaoming fits the most common type of true spirit among primary school students, lazy and homely. This statement surprised Xiaoming. Otaku is actually a very common species. How come they are the most common type of true spirits among primary school students? Shouldn't it be those heroes who have the courage to sacrifice for justice? Xiaozu said that heroes are at a higher level and are generally the type more common among true spirits born in junior high schools. Of course, this does not mean that every hero who has the courage to sacrifice is a true spirit of junior high school students, and that all lazy people are true spirits of elementary school students. In fact, most of these people have not embarked on the path of true God. But then again, anyone in the world, including cats, dogs, fish, insects, flowers, and plants, may also have source energy seeds. This is not guaranteed. Why is the lazy homebody the most common type of elementary school student true spirit? Because lazy and homebody guys consume the least resources, and at the same time they don't have a particularly strong utilitarian heart, don't fight or grab, and have a sense of enlightenment. Once a true spirit embarks on the path of true God, it is likely to become like this naturally. After many reincarnations as a lazy homebody, he will be indifferent to everything in the world, and this true spirit will probably not be reincarnated as a human again. He may choose to attach to stones and tiles, basically no longer need to ask for anything, just quietly release source energy to replenish the consumption of the universe. Among them, a small number of true spirits pity the world and want to do something. Panga world has Bai's Hang Cliff, the underworld, Qianxin Tower, Dragon Palace, Wanyuan Palace, heaven. In other worlds, it may also be heaven, Buddha kingdom, pure land of bliss, and the like. Of course, these things could also be traps set by some false gods. Well, curiosity kills the cat, and there is no point in knowing too much about other things. Xiao Zhu interrupted the chat between the two and issued an ultimatum. Indecision is actually more harmful. Xiaoming, you should make a choice. No matter what choice Zhang Xiaoming made in the end. This book ends here. The author is deeply grateful to every reader for their company. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1694. Chapter 1694. The book Magic Planet of Online Games started on August 24, 2018 and ended on March 19, 2021, which took 939 days and a total of more than 3.5 million words. Looking back on the creative process over the past 2 years, the author would like to thank all the readers, the editor-in-chief of Chidion.com and other staff. I have benefited a lot from you. This is the first time I have written a book. The author's quality in all aspects is not good, so the book is naturally not well written. It is a very happy thing to have a place to publish and someone to read. The author has to sort out his mood and summarize his experience and lessons. Maybe in the near future, he will start writing the next book. I hope to make some progress. Thank you again.